Hey, what's up everybody? Reviewman here, and today I'm bringing you another top 10 list. Yada yada yada, no soup for you, worlds are colliding. And if you know all those catchphrases, or if you just looked at the title, we're going to be doing top 10 Seinfeld characters. So yeah guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Join me now. Okay guys, coming in at number 10 is Frank and Estelle Costanza and Morty and Helen Seinfeld. Now they're the parents of the two main characters in the show, George and Jerry. And the parents hate each other, but the two sets of parents actually no. Let me take that back. Frank and Estelle don't really care for Morty and Helen because something about a pen or something like that. But anyway, yeah. Morty, he used to be a raincoat salesman, and he used to be a trench coat. He sold the trench coats. And Frank, he had a many number of ideas, and Frank and Estelle, they're some of the craziest people you ever want to meet. Estelle, yeah. So anyway, number 10 is Frank and Estelle. Frank and Estelle, and Helen and Morty Seinfeld, and they live down in Florida, but the Costanzas and the Seinfelds, they coexist together. Like George and Jerry are best friends. So yeah, but the parents really don't get along with each other. So yeah, join me at number 9 in the next part. Number 9 is Joe Bookman, the library cop. Joe Bookman, he's been after Jerry since Jerry was a kid, because Jerry, he didn't return enough. He gave George a book called The Tropic of Cancer, or Tropic of Capricorn, or somewhere there in the tropics. And yeah, so he's been after Jerry because Jerry has this overdue library book that's been overdue for about, I think he said about 36 years. And yeah, he's like, what makes this guy good is he could be talking to you one minute, and then he'd be talking to you like this. So he could be on your side one minute, then he turns on you in a second. And so yeah, but what happens is George, whenever he was a kid, whenever Jerry gave George the book whenever they were a kid, George got bullied by this PE coach, and so the PE coach was now a homeless dude whenever they were adults, and he has the book sitting on the front steps and at the library. And yeah, so the book's been at the library the whole time. It's just been with the homeless guy. So that's besides the point. Joe Bookman, the library cop, he makes a last appearance in the finale episode where they find all these character witnesses, and everybody that they wronged in the series comes back to testify against him. So that's Joe Bookman, library cop, at number 9. Number 8 is a lawyer for Cosmo Kramer, and it's called Jackie Childs. Jackie Childs is this lawyer that helped Kramer win tobacco cases. And there was even in one episode where Sue Ellen Mischke, this woman, she's a heir to the candy bars, and they're in court, and the main case in that episode was she was walking down the street and all she had was a bra on, no top. Yeah, so Jackie Childs is the lawyer, and there was one episode where this woman, she thought she killed Kramer, and she called Jackie Childs and she said, I've been arrested for they intended to murder me for this guy named Kramer. Who, Cosmo Kramer? Yeah, I don't want no part of it. And so yeah, at the end of it, and in the finale, he comes back and he defends Jerry, George, and Elaine for the Good Samaritan law. That's where you see something's being wrong done to them and you don't do nothing about it. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy law. So Jackie Childs is the lawyer of the people, and he's at number 8. Join me at number 7. Number 7 is David Puddy. David Puddy was Elaine's on and off again boyfriend. He went from being a mechanic in a shop to being a car salesman. They on and off again boyfriend. They traveled the world. They broke up with each other. They got on with each other. David and Elaine, David Putty was Elaine's boyfriend, and so yeah, it's by the same guy. The guy that portrays him is the same guy that plays Joe. Here's the guy that goes like this. Here's Joe with the deep voice. Oh yeah, and he's also a face painter. Which, whenever they go to a hockey game, Jerry and Kramer, they have to dress up, because that's the only way they can get the tickets, is to dress up in face paint and all this other stuff. And so, no wait, never mind, that's not it. What happened was Kramer and Jerry, they had the right, because David's team is the Devils, David's hockey team is the Devils, and they had to write Devils on their chest, and spell out the word Devils, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll write we'll write the letters, and that's the only way they can got the tickets. So there was one episode where Jerry was buying a car, and Elaine and David broke up, and he had to get Elaine back together with David, and because David was screwing him over on the car, giving him all this other car stuff that didn't really make no sense. So yeah, that was David Putty, car salesman, mechanic, a jack of all trades. Join me at number 6. Number 6 was one of Elaine's bosses, Justin Pitt. Mr. Pitt, he's this older, wealthy man that Elaine took care of, and so there was one episode where Mr. Pitt was discussing this case about his name with his water, and somehow he got, I think it was like moil or mortar or something like that, and so okay, and so whenever he was discussing the case, whenever he was discussing the name of the water, somehow he was, before he went to the meeting, he was distracted by this painting. It was one of those abstract art paintings, and he had to like squint at it to try to see the picture, and so yeah, he had to squint to see the picture, and he was using this fountain pen, which he hates to use, and the ink got all over his hands, and he was wiping it on his mouth. He was wiping it on the lip of his mouth, and somehow he got a Hitler mustache. And so, whenever he was discussing the name of the bottle, somehow it represented Hitler's. Yeah, and so yeah, that was Justin Pitt, and they've been through everything together. From Elaine knowing the name of this song to get him in a spot in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade holding Woody Woodpecker, to what was it? To Elaine almost killing Justin by whenever she said when he finally put her in his will, and so almost put him in his will, and Elaine and Justin's, I think it's like it was Justin's attorney, seeing Elaine putting this pillow, she thought she was killing Justin, but he was actually putting it up underneath his head. And so yeah, they've been through a lot of crazy things together. And finally today, when Elaine got fired for giving Justin the wrong, Elaine got fired. So yeah, and then she found another job. So yeah, that was Justin Pitt. Join me at number 5. Number 5 is yet another boss, Mr. Kruger of Kruger Industrial Smoothing. Now, Mr. Kruger, he's played by the guy that played Commandant Spangler in Malcolm in the Middle, which was Francis's military school sergeant. And Mr. Kruger, he works for this smoothing place, and he hired George just for the heck of it. He really didn't have no reason. He just hired him just for the heck of it. And George had a past with Mr. Kruger. There was this one episode where Mr. Kruger was talking about that he threw this bald guy's stuff into the ocean, and he was like, and George was like, "That bald guy, sir, was me." And Mr. Kruger was like, "You lost a lot of hair." George said, "I'm aware of the hair." And so yeah, him and George had this falling out back and forth. And then there was one day where George gave Mr. Kruger a fake Christmas gift because George doesn't celebrate Christmas. He celebrates Festivus. Sorry, I'm doing these on the road, so that's why it's in and out. And he doesn't really celebrate Christmas. He celebrates Festivus. But if you want to learn about Festivus, I'm going to leave a link below to my Festivus video. So yeah, that was Mr. Kruger, George's boss at Kruger Industrial Smoothing. I'll see you at number 4. Number 4 is George's ex-fiance, who's dead now, because George gave her some toxic envelopes whenever she was licking it, and it gave her some toxic envelopes. And his Susan Ross. She's heir to the Ross, and whenever George thinks she's got it good after Susan died, but what they want to do is they want to auction off everything, and they don't want to leave George a thing because they know George killed Susan by the toxic envelopes. And these people have had a falling out for a while. Susan used to work at NBC, and then that's how they met, because George and Jerry, they had this contract to have a pilot with NBC, but after some mix-ups, ain't that pretty? After some mix-ups, George and Jerry no longer have a pilot, and so Susan and George start dating, and then they become engaged, and then Susan died because of toxic envelopes that I mentioned. Some very toxic envelopes. So yeah, that's Susan Ross, George's dead fiance. So yeah, that was number 4. Join me at number 3. Number 3 is Newman, everybody's favorite lovable mailman, Newman. Jerry's arch enemy, because I think this was something about a pen or something like that. But anyway, every time George and Jerry meet, they say, "Hello, Jerry." "Hello, Newman." And Newman is Kramer's best friend. So these two have had a falling out all through them. There's somebody in that car.
And you see that car?
Yeah, I see that car. So yeah, sorry. So yeah, George and Newman and Jerry are not the best of friends, and they have sort of like a Drew Carey, Mimi Bobek relationship. It's a love-hate relationship, but sometimes they work together. Like this one episode where they thought this guy was embezzling money just because he was sniffing every time he was around Kramer, but actually it was a mohair sweater that causes people to sneeze. So, and then George and Newman, he was supposed to mail this letter, but actually he couldn't because he was filling up this woman. He was touching this woman's fabric, but that's another story. So yeah, guys, that was Newman, everybody's lovable mailman. I'll see y'all guys at number 2. Number 2 is everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Leo. Uncle Leo is Jerry's uncle, and he's he's also the father of cousin Jeffrey, which works at the parks department. Uncle Leo is this insane, blind, senile old man who's, well, every time he sees Jerry, he says, "Jerry, hello!" And every time he talks to somebody, he grabs them and pulls them in like they're trying to get away. And Jerry and Leo and everybody else, Uncle Leo has a Uncle Leo, yeah, he's just Uncle Leo. I can go on and on about Uncle Leo, but yeah, and then there was one episode where Jerry caught Uncle Leo stealing, and Uncle Leo was like, "If somebody forgives me, I never forget when somebody betrays me. I never forget that." And so, yeah, Uncle Leo is a crazy old man who's been yeah, he's just Uncle Leo. Yeah. Alright, that's number 2, Uncle Leo. The crazy senile old man who Jerry's dad thought was withholding money because Jerry's grandma thought it was a different time. Her mind is still set like in 1972 or something like that. So, yeah, Uncle Leo. Join me with the top spot next. Number 1 is the soup Nazi. No soup for you. This guy, he is very strict. He's very strict. He runs his business sort of like a Nazi regime. And yeah, this is my second character relation to the Nazis, but yeah, that was sort of like Larry David's and Jerry's type of humor, the soup Nazi. And he's actually based upon a real guy. And there's this guy in New York. He got really ticked because Jerry's he got really ticked at Seinfeld because they thought that who they were basing the character on, and they actually were. He sort of, and Elaine ends his business because of an armoire that has all of an armoire, sort of like a fancy cabinet type thing that has all the soup Nazi's secret recipes in there, and she starts publishing everything, and she ends the soup Nazi's career because ticks her off because if you don't do what the soup Nazi says, you don't get your soup. And so, yeah, don't get your soup. And so Elaine, she's like, okay, I'm gonna report this guy. I'm gonna start some trouble. And Kramer's talking to the soup Nazi about the armoire, and he says, okay, my friend, she's really disappointed about the armoire, and look at that. And Kramer's like,
Go back to
and Kramer, he gets really disappointed she said, oh, my friend's really disappointed. That's all. She really liked that armoire. And the soup Nazi says, you know what? Since you're such a good friend, I'm gonna give you my armoire. And I'm gonna give you my armoire. And Elaine asks Kramer, she says, what, Kramer, where'd you get this? And he said, well, I got it from the soup Nazi. And then he said, what, the soup Nazi? And then he looks inside then a couple days later, Jerry's there. And she's looking through all these drawers, and it has all the secret recipes. And so Elaine goes down to the soup place. She said, I got you secret recipes, soup Nazi. I'm going to publish them all over the place. No soup for you. And yeah, so that's the soup Nazi. Well guys, I hope you liked this top 10 list. I had another video planned with top 10 lists, but I'll do that another day. So yeah, anyway guys, like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and I will see y'all guys in the next video. Peace out.